10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there, and I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to pick it, and our running back coach didn't take it. Biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Martin Houston Day. I have my grandson on my mind this morning, but welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by MaX Sports, and I'll explain that day statement in just a moment. We're glad that you've chosen to make us a part of your morning routine. We're glad to have you as a part of the show, the fam, and all that comes with that. I want to invite you to get in on the conversation at 205-342-9904. That's the Alabama One hotline. That's the Alabama One hotline on at 205-342-9904. Also, those of you joining us on chat, live, local, and ready to get things going on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Look it up under the Martin Houston Show with a couple different handles at Martin Houston 35, MaX Sports, at Martin Houston fan page. So several different ways to get to us and find us and communicate and connect with us. And we love the interaction. So we invite and welcome you to give your thoughts and opinions on the topics we bring up, or maybe you have a suggestion for a topic, a great idea, something you'd like us to hit. One that we'll eventually get to during the summer is the top 3 most underrated players that was suggested to us by Alan. So we won't get to it today. Got enough topics that things happening over the weekend that we can get to as a part of today's show. Before we get into that conversation, I want to remind you that this is a day that the Lord has made. So let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Today is the official kickoff to the college football season. It's kind of how we like to look at SEC media days around these parts. Hard to believe that it's already that time. Man, we're inside of a month of these guys, and we're going to be talking football, man. I mean, it's going to be not just talking about what may happen coming out of SEC Media Day. We'll start breaking down the position groupings and who we think are going to be the players. And with that said, we'll guess who we think will be voted on as SEC players making the All-SEC team this year. And so we'll talk about that, start that conversation today. And, of course, we'll adjust it as we go to maybe get some, remove some, et cetera. But we'd like to know who your thoughts are. Who's going to be the coach of the year? Will it be Brian Kelly? What's going to be on his mind? We had some recruiting news for Bama over the weekend, so we'll highlight that. And definitely last but not least, the best way I can put it is Jeremey Pruitt got hammered, Tennessee got punished. So we'll look at that. And wow, I mean, it's pretty crazy to think how they decided on what they decided on, and I'm gonna have to do a little research to figure out exactly how it's all going to be administered and the punishment be exacted. But Jeremy Pruitt got 6 years show cause. I don't know if I've ever seen that. And here's the thing: they had a lot of violations. I haven't even looked at that list, but they said over 200. But the financial, think about this: 3 years later, they're punishing him for $60,000 worth of violations. When right now players are being bought for hundreds of thousands of dollars by the exact same people that they're punishing them for. It just shows you once again how out of touch the NCAA is. And I have some thoughts on why they did this, and I think it's going to backfire on them. We'll talk about that as well. So if you have something you'd like to get in on the conversation, you're welcome to get in on it at 205-342-9904. That's the Alabama One hotline, or post your thoughts and comments on chat, and we'll bring that into the conversation. Good morning, X. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. Doing well. How are you?
Doing well. Wow. Oh, man. Where do we start? Jeremy Pruitt, recruiting, all SEC, SEC Media Days, recruiting updates. We got it all on the docket. So let's go ahead and get Pat in. Pat, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind?
Hey, wanted to talk about, good morning, Martin, and good morning, X. Wanted to talk about what a fabulous week Coach Saban's had. He's excelled. He has got more points he's brought us up to number 5 in recruiting with only 14 recruits. That unheard of. He's in position to go to number 1 in recruiting in just a short period of time, Martin. But this is unheard of in recruiting world. And do you not agree, X? X, you there?
Yes, I would agree that this past week for Alabama has been one of a kind. If you go back to the Sunday before, Bama was sitting at number 26 in the country, and 6 days later, sitting as a top 5 class. Just shows the talent that Alabama is able to pull in, and how some Alabama fans, you just got to be patient and, respect the process and enjoy the process of what Nick Saban can do when it comes to pulling in players. It's been a big week for Alabama on the recruiting trail.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, but Martin, about Pruitt, that he can't get Peter to go head to head, because surely volunteers and they got that dog that just a crime. The punishment's not fitting the crime per se. This is just how you say cruel and unusual punishment for Pruitt. This is something that 6 years show cause for $60,000. At the most, maybe a year show cause, but nothing like taking away 6 years of the man's employment status. That CD can't even get a job as a dog catcher.
Yeah. We'll circle back on the recruiting, but yeah, with the Jeremy Pruitt thing, I think it's an NCAA power move. I think that they're trying to do whatever they can to reestablish their role, and what they can do. They're trying to reestablish themselves as the enforcement committee. And I guess when they get a chance, they're going to go all out. And this tends to prove that story because they didn't just hit, Jeremey. They hit the assistants. It's pretty amazing. It makes zero sense, Pat. It really, really does. And the question I have is, does Jeremey get the 3 years that they took his investigation? Does that count against his show cause?
Okay.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
Does his 6 years start from the time they took to punish him, or the fact that he's not been able to coach the last 3 years? And the only reason he's not the coordinator at Alabama is because of this case.
Absolutely.
This is why Nick Saban did not hire Jeremy Pruitt. Because we would have a coach right now that we would have to be replacing.
Yeah.
I don't think the case is over. I think that Jeremy is going to sue, and Pat, and I think you may end up seeing some things overturned. I think that the NCAA may have overreached, and when Jeremy goes through, you're going to see something happen. This is Martin talking, not anything. I wouldn't be surprised if the time served and all of that, and Jeremy's able to coach next year, because this will be 4 years, 4 seasons, or 3.
Yeah, and this will make the 4th season, I guess.
This will be the 3rd season.
Yeah, 3rd season. Okay, and right now, I think that within the next 3 years, the NCAA has zero to do with college football as we know it. Because college football as we know it within 3 years is not going to be the same. And you're not going to, the have-nots will no longer exist in college football. And if they do, it's only going to be as a feeder program.
Yeah. I know it's changing a lot, Pat, and we'll talk more about the NCAA and this Jeremy Pruitt decision in Tennessee. There's some good and bad that came out of this that I do like with the NCAA rules. And so I'll give my thoughts on that on the other side. Pat, will also circle back a little bit on the recruiting in the second quarter. Of course, we'll hit more of the recruiting on Thursday under MaX recruiting.
Maybe X will talk a little bit about what we're getting in Caleb. Because he does have a potential to be a good tight end and can stretch out and play in the slot and be a total mismatch for anybody. I look for him to be O.J. Howard 2.0, I hope.
That we utilize. All right. Thanks, Pat. Have a good one, sir. All right. Coming back on the other side, we'll keep the conversation going right here on the kickoff to the Alabama Sports Talk on Tide 100.9, the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier from 6 to 7, Monday through Friday, but also replays throughout the week. We'll keep it going right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks on this Monday morning. Everything looking pretty good around the area. Now, if you do see conditions, of course, give me a call. $6,000 instant savings on select vehicles, plus rates as low as 0%. Plus Townsend Nissan's free lifetime powertrain warranty. Go see BJ and the gang. I'm Captain Ray.
It's the Tuscaloosa Community Calendar, powered by Pepsi.
Reading Allies needs you. Each year, they need volunteers to assist with struggling readers in our schools. It is easy to sign up and to volunteer, and you can make a difference in a child's life. Please go to readingallies.org. Reading Allies needs you. Each year, they need volunteers to assist with struggling readers in our schools. It is easy to sign up and to volunteer, and you can make a difference in a child's life. Please go to readingallies.org.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Don't miss Customer Appreciation Day this Saturday at Crimson Pride Hunting and Fishing on Highway 43 in Northport. Stop by and have a hamburger or hot dog and a drink from 11 until 2 and register for lots of door prizes. Zoom Soft Plastics will be on sale for 15% off. They also have a great selection of rifles, shotguns, pistols, ammo, ladder stands, deer feeders, shooting houses, rods, reels, and fishing tackle. Don't miss Customer Appreciation Day this Saturday at Crimson Pride Hunting and Fishing on Highway 43 in Northport.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
We've got some sizzling summer weather ahead this week. Partly to mostly sunny today with only a small chance of any one spot getting a storm this afternoon. The high today 96. Fair tonight, the low 72. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, a small chance of a storm, the high 97. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 72 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. As we get ready to kick back off the second quarter, I just want to take a quick second to wish my youngest, Xavier Jr., a.k.a. Deuce, a happy 4th birthday. Dad loves you, proud of you, and the little man that you are becoming. Happy birthday, son.
All right, that is happy birthday to my grandson, Deuce, as he's affectionately known throughout our household. Maybe one day he not necessarily for the Crimson Tide, but maybe he'll get some of the on the field athletic ability of a very famous Deuce that played with me back in '92. We'll keep our eyes on that and keep you updated on that. Happy birthday, Deuce. All right, as we keep things going right here on your home for Alabama sports, we're able to do this because we have great sponsors, and I want to give a shout out to Billy's Cooking Restaurant, 3702 Alabama Avenue Northeast in Tuscaloosa, 35404. And what we invite you to do is just go to the old Holt High School and look directly across the street, and you'll see Billy's wings, barbecue, fried fish, soul food, and more. We have open times Wednesday through Sunday, opening at 11 a.m. That's Billy's Cooking Restaurant. Wing Wednesday, 50-cent a wing. Fish Friday and Soul Food Sunday. Go check them out or give them a call, 205-632-8617. That's Billy's Cooking Restaurant. All right, X, we were talking, excuse me. Lots of conversation. Let's hit the recruiting real quick, and then we'll get to Jeremey, and then SEC media days and all SEC players. We can kick that throughout the week, and it'll be a relevant topic. So Big recruiting news for Alabama this weekend, and as Pat mentioned, Alabama has climbed 21 spots, I think it is, since in the last 8 to 10 days, based on when you start counting, sitting at number 5. What the big tight end get this weekend with Caleb Odom. So talk a little bit about Alabama and where they sit.
Yeah, as was mentioned, Alabama went from number 26 on the 9th of July to now. As of the 15th, they were the number 5 class in the country after 4-star Caleb Odom joined the big dynamic tight end with more of a wide receiver build right now. You kind of look at him, you would probably say his potential build is a Kyle Pitts, 6'6", 240 to 250 range with a lot of athleticism and speed. He comes from Carrollton High School in Georgia, and we've talked about it over the past week. Zaki Helton, a member of the 2026 class, the first member of that class, committing on the Sunday. Julian Lewis, the number 1 player and quarterback in the 2026 class, is his quarterback. So it looks like a Carrollton High School to Alabama pipeline is slowly being built. It's going to be interesting to watch how that does come to form over the next few years. But Bama is getting a dynamic playmaker, Caleb Odom.
Yeah, while that happened quietly, did Alabama have a potential blow in their top ranked player right now? Well, actually, I think Julian Saying may have passed Perry Thompson for the ranking of based on when you look at 2024 player rankings. Julian Saying has jumped up to number 5 overall. So I say that, but before that, Perry Thompson was one of Alabama's top players, and now X. Did Alabama take a blow this weekend with him saying, or this past week with him saying that Auburn, he's still committed to Alabama, but Auburn, let me see how to put this. Auburn is still there. And he also fell in the latest rankings to 32 overall.
I mean, when you look, it's going to be a battle down to the end between Alabama and Auburn for Perry Thompson. Auburn is going to give everything that they have throughout the course of this recruiting process to get him to flip. And he's now Auburn's number 1 priority at that wide receiver position while they continue to work on Cam Coleman out of Phoenix City, who is committed to Texas A&M now. So I'm not surprised. As far as I can tell right now, he's going to be a part of the Crimson Tide class. Did everything they have to get him. So it's just going to be a time tells type of situation.
Yeah, you wonder what is behind him. Now being ranked as a 32nd overall player. Has something happened in the offseason, or have other kids just gotten better as a whole? But that's something to watch. And you have to think Hugh Freeze went out and got a bona fide offensive coordinator that likes to throw it around. These guys not being solid on Alabama at the wide receiver position, and Auburn being the potential suitor. These guys love stats, X. They love stats. And so I could easily see a scenario that Hugh Freeze puts up crazy 500 yards passing per game type of numbers, 450, 500, and Cam and Perry ended up at Auburn. And then the other part, X, that has me concerned is we have zero success since Julio Jones with 6'3" plus receivers. I mean, we just never, I don't know if it's, no matter who we have as an offensive coordinator, our route trees are just not built for guys that require great route running, or what it is. So I think that if I was recruiting against Alabama, I would point that out.
Yeah. No, I mean, it'd be a great point to make. As you said, outside of Julio, most of these guys are 5'10" to 6, at the tallest 6'1", and just different bodies. And Perry is definitely a guy that, through the college process is going to grow into a Julio type build. And even though it's been a little while, we have seen Hugh Freeze have more recent success with bigger body wide receivers. When you look at Laquan Treadwell and A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf at Ole Miss. So he has a track record of body guys, 220, 230, 6'2", 6'3" wide receivers. So it probably is really appealing to Perry, especially if that's a point being used. Hey, it's been over a decade. Julio Jones has had an entire Hall of Fame career in the NFL and is at the back end since him and Alabama. He's the only one. So, yeah, I definitely see that being a talking point when it comes to some of these bigger body wide receivers on the recruiting trail.
And another aspect of that is these guys, because you can start naming guys that played here that went on to have NFL careers, and the point would be made that Julio could have played in any offense. So what even the fact that we used him here, Julio was a specimen in and of itself. People don't talk about Julio. Julio is clearly the greatest wide receiver to ever play here if you put him in any era, period. It would even be close. I mean, I like all the guys that have played, but Julio could run routes as good as anybody. He could catch as good as anybody. He was bigger than everybody. He was as fast as everybody, and he blocked better than everybody. I mean, you can go anywhere. We just didn't use him. But then you can go to the NFL and you can see guys that didn't even get on the field really here, and now they're in their 5th, 6th, 7th year in the NFL. So I will be using that. So I'm gonna watch that Perry Thompson thing closely. Maybe we can have Perry Thompson buy into, hey man, you lived up to the Julio hype in high school. Come live up to it here at Alabama and show the greatness of Foley wide receivers, or something like that. So we'll keep the conversation going. If you have any thoughts or comments about the recruiting, we'll break it down more on Thursday. So make sure you come back on Thursday and hang out with us. Then the next part of the show, we'll flip over to closing out. I'm going to give you some more thoughts on the NCAA and Jeremey Pruitt, and then we'll start talking about SEC Media Days. If you have something you want to get to, please give us a call, 205-342-9904. That's the Alabama One hotline, or post your thoughts and comments on chat, and we'll work it into the conversation. You're listening to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier on Tide 100.9.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks on this Monday morning. Everything looking pretty good around the area. Now, if you do see conditions, of course, give me a call. $6,000 instant savings on select vehicles, plus rates as low as 0%, plus Townsend Nissan's free lifetime powertrain warranty. Go see BJ and the gang. I'm Captain Ray.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear.
I should really give my dad a call.
Things you missed when you were tired suddenly come to light.
Wow, I'm a morning person.
At Mattress Firm, we know the right mattress matters. And at our 4th of July sale, you can get a king bed for a queen price and save up to $700 on select Sealy mattresses. Sale ends soon. Shop in-store or online at mattressfirm.com. The right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
My name is Michael Holt, and I'm an instructor at Tiger Rock Martial Arts. When you think of martial arts training, what do you think of? Karate Kid, the Ninja Turtles, or maybe you think of your friend who trains in martial arts and is experiencing the life-changing benefits. Martial arts training is proven to improve focus, confidence, athletic performance, fitness levels, and social interaction skills. With classes for ages 4 and up, we invite you to experience those benefits by participating in our easy introductory course at one of our 3 academies. Give us a call at 339-7071 or find us online with a simple online search for Tiger Rock.
The Dell Technologies Black Friday in July event has arrived with limited quantity deals on top tech to power any passion. Save on select XPS PCs and more powered by the latest Intel Core processors. Plus, get savings on select monitors and accessories, free shipping, and monthly payment options with Dell Preferred Account. Save today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. Offered to U.S. residents by WebBank, who determines qualifications for and terms of credit.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
You're back in with the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier on Tide 100.9. Alabama One has a great promotion running right now. Go out and get your auto loan today, maybe a wrecked vehicle or equipment loan. Any of those loans will, get you an opportunity to win one of 3 gifts. We have a weekly prize of a $100 gift card to help you take that road trip for the weekend. Or maybe you need to get away for a weekend. Once a month, we will get you a $1,000 Airbnb gift card. And the grand prize to be given away at the end of October is a magical $5,000 vacation package. All you have to do is get something you need, that new auto, that new wrecked vehicle, or new equipment, and you get a chance to win. Go to alabama1.org for more details, or stop by one of our branch locations, and one of our team members will be glad to assist you. All right, X. The Jeremey Pruitt saga, man. NCAA, before this was announced, just to give you some thoughts here, already had a show cause penalty for Brian Niedermeyer, 5 years. Shelton Felton, 4 years. Director of Player Personnel, Drew Hughes, 4 years. And student assistant Mike Magnus, 3 years. So that levied pretty harsh punishments with those. But Jeremey, it's pretty crazy. I will say that I do like one aspect of this punishment, and that is that the players, if they win games, despite the 28 scholarships spread over 5 years, they will. Now, here's the question. Max. Has the NCAA came back and told, before I get into what I like about it, let me ask you this question. They give them 28 scholarship limitation. Get that. But has the NCAA stopped the rule where you could sign more players? Teams have been able to sign 30 plus players because of COVID, and I haven't seen that change. We need to check that out, because if they did, you almost can skirt around that rule, because you increase the likelihood of replacing the guys who go into the portal and marginal players. I'm assuming it just means that Tennessee, instead of having 85 scholarship players, they can only have 80, but they may be able to sign 35 guys.
Yeah, that is true. The other aspect you got to look at it is technically this year into the red shirts, next year are the last guys that really COVID affects as far as eligibility and things of that nature. So that might also play into it as well. Will the NCAA be continuing that once those guys is up?
Yeah, we're watching to see how that works out. But here's one of the things I do like about this is if these players that are currently on the team wins and they win out, that they can still play for a championship, whether it's SEC championship, national championship, or just bowl eligibility. No postseason ban. And I like that aspect of it because now you're not punishing the players who are there who didn't have anything to do with the cheating and infractions that happened before, other than the fact that there's some guys that would have joined them in the number of scholarships. And the school itself pays $8 million, which is kind of the amount of money that would have happened in a postseason ban. But to me, to have only issued the equivalent of a 2-year postseason ban and an average of 4-point-something scholarships per year, and then look at the coaches' show calls as 6 years, the two don't seem to match. X. Your thoughts on first of all, the NCAA making this move to not punish the existing players. What are your thoughts there?
I do like that. I've never really understood that aspect of punishing the young men who weren't a part of the program at the time, because that's normally what happens. The guys that this happened with, they've either transferred, graduated, whatever the case may be. But now you're punishing a young man that's a junior in high school right now that had nothing to do with the old staff, the players that were there, but he's the one that has to miss out on a bowl ban.
Even now, it's even.
But I mean, the loss of scholarships. Yeah, the loss of scholarships will affect him during his time there, but I do think that they deserve the opportunity to win championships. 2002, they went 10-3, and and would have been the SEC West representative in the SEC championship game. But hey, they got punished for what happened in 2000 and in 99, 2000 because of the Albert Means situation. So I do like the fact that they're not being punished because of that.
Yeah, and I agree with that totally. And once again, I would say that if you watch the two extremes of this is this new NCAA president trying to do two things: win favor with the schools, and at the same time show that they are the enforcement rules. I mean, they're the enforcement committee. They buttered up the university, meaning, oh, hey guys, we're going to take 28 scholarships over 5 years. So spread out your punishment over 5 years. We're going to hit you financially, but we're not going to prevent you from making that money up. Okay, so think about this. If Tennessee makes it to the postseason and they're still good, they make it to the postseason, they just got their money back, right? They're going to pay the penalty, but they still have the opportunity to cover that in their budget by winning. So the NCAA, the university itself likes the NCAA right now. But what did they tell the coaches? If you cheat, you're the oversight. If your program cheats, we're going to hammer you. So get your ship. That's I'm sorry. Blind Squirrel Sports said it's a shame for Pruitt and his staff that allegedly they didn't cheat as well as everyone else did. Blind Squirrel, that is so bad. And that's the bad part about this is he got hammered for such.
Blind Squirrel need to be. You heard who one of the players that allegedly got paid was, didn't you?
Well, no, I didn't. But who?
No, it is a member of their previous 2 national championship teams.
Yeah, he's probably gone.
They start looking into Georgia. He's gone. But Reggie Bush was gone too. Remember that?
Yeah, they start messing with Georgia. I don't know if they got that much teeth yet. They trying to get a little bite back, but I don't know if they're ready to go after Georgia over something that small. But nobody really got paid compared to some of the allegations that Tennessee got hammered for. One of them is like regarding COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, during COVID, where they gave a room to someone's parent. It is so bad. Darnell Washington allegedly took Tennessee's money and ran. So anyway, let's get to Alan. Alan, thanks for your patience. You're in with Martin and Xavier. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning. Good morning. So what does this mean for Jeremey Pruitt in his coaching career? Is it pretty much over now?
I don't think so. Alan, the question I have, and I haven't done any research on it, is does he, like when people go to jail and they get, 25 years, but they waited 3 years on their trial and they get 3 years for time served. I just wonder, will Jeremey Pruitt get credit for time served? But it's a harsh penalty, right? So
very hard. Very hard.
So this is what I'm trying to figure out. Does he get penalty for time served? That's the first thing you have to look at. If he did, then this year counts. I mean, the last 2 years count, and this will be the third year, okay? He appeals because whoever hires him has the ability to appeal, okay? So let's say he's hired on at Alabama. Alabama has the ability to appeal and possibly get it reduced. And I could easily see them reducing it to 3 or 4 years, okay? From 6. I could see that happening. Because he's literally been out of football for 3 years. I mean, out of coaching. He coached, 1 year in the NFL and nothing this past year? Is that kind of the case?
No, he didn't. I don't think he coached in 2021.
So
he coached in 2021. I think he's been completely removed for two going on 3
from
years
the NFL.
Now.
I mean, from college.
Yeah, I don't think he's coached at all.
So the question is, how many? What year did he get in trouble? 2020, 2021. I just drew a blank. 2021.
2020 was his last year. He got fired after the 2020
Right. And
season.
so that's what I'm saying. He had 21, he didn't coach. 22, he didn't. 21, he didn't coach. 22, he didn't coach. So this would be the third year. So this would be his third year, Alan. And then on top of that, the punishment is, and Curtis Moore II pointed this out, the first season of the 6, he can't have any team contact or any activities with the team. So let's say Nick Saban decides to go ahead and hire Jeremey as an off-the-field analyst, et cetera, whatever he decides to do. Then they appeal. And this year counts against him. And they win the appeal and get it reduced to 3 years. Then Jeremey Pruitt is coaching next year at Alabama. Let's say that they get it appealed and they get it down to 4. Jeremey Pruitt next year can be a part of team activities, but can't be on the field. And he's been rehabbed during that time, but he can be back involved. I think I take that. I don't think that it'll surprise me if he doesn't win in some type of appeal. The question then becomes, what does the SEC do with him, Alan? Because I think, we know Bo Davis is having a hard time getting back in the SEC, and now he's going to be back in the SEC next year anyway.
Well, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I just think it's a conspiracy against Alabama from hiring the man. That's what I think. But I'm looking at it from crimson-colored glasses though. So I'm just thinking that it was a conspiracy against Bama. And my other thing, whatever happened to Albert Means after all that scandal blew up, you've never heard from him anymore. I was just curious what happened to him after this. And my other thing, and I'll hang up and I'll listen to y'all. I went to the Braves game yesterday. It was a sad day for my Braves. Very sad.
All right. Thanks, Alan. Appreciate it.
Homeboy, Tim Anderson, though. So
all right, man. That sounds good. Hey, we'll answer the question that Alan asked on the other side. You listen to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. Hey, follow at MaX Recruiting, @MaX_recruiting on Twitter.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks on this Monday morning. Everything looking pretty good around the area. Now, if you do see conditions, of course, give me a call. $6,000 instant savings on select vehicles, plus rates as low as 0%. Plus Townsend Nissan's free lifetime powertrain warranty. Go see BJ and the gang. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Monday morning. A court-ordered redrawing of Alabama's congressional district map in 1992 led to the creation of the first majority black district and the election of West Alabama Democrat Congresswoman Terry Sewell. Now, another court-ordered redrawing will create a second minority district. The legislature begins a special session this week to do just that. The U.S. Supreme Court has given Alabama until Friday, July 21st to create the new map. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's.
Don't miss Customer Appreciation Day this Saturday at Crimson Pride Hunting and Fishing on Highway 43 in Northport. Stop by and have a hamburger or hot dog and a drink from 11 until 2 and register for lots of door prizes. Zoom Soft Plastics will be on sale for 15% off. They also have a great selection of rifles, shotguns, pistols, ammo, ladder stands, deer feeders, shooting houses, rods, reels, and fishing tackle. Don't miss Customer Appreciation Day this Saturday at Crimson Pride Hunting and Fishing on Highway 43 in Northport.
Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by MaX Sports. Harvest Church, loving God, loving people. Come check us out Wednesday nights, starting at 6 with a dinner, and then 6:30 teaching time, or Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. Sunday school, 10 a.m. worship service. And hey, listen, if you got some young ones that you'd like to get involved with some Vacation Bible School, VBS, this weekend, July 21st and 22nd, starting on Friday night. That's Harvest Church. Love God, love people. We'd love to have you come out and be a part. All right, we'll keep things going. X had a couple of comments over on Facebook on the live stream. Blind Squirrel Sports says, I think Georgia allegedly cheated too well to get in trouble. If not, our local tabloid magazine would be all over it. Yeah, Georgia got their own in-house haters. And then when we're going to break, and I'm going to circle back on this, we were talking about the fact that the NCAA and SEC not letting Bo Davis back in. Bo Davis and Jeremey Pruitt, to me, they are two of the worst overreach or over-punished, hammered versions I've ever seen in terms of recruiting. And part of it is, let me tell you, the NCAA is arrogant, full of themselves, and trying to reestablish power. They have always punished coaches who didn't cooperate or who didn't buy their bluff. Now, I'm going to tell you, Auburn Tigers, a lot of people don't know this. Auburn, a few years back, many moons back actually, all the way back at least when Cam Newton was there, they had a couple of former infraction people that worked for them. From my understanding, they had a couple of attorneys, and they knew how the game was played. And so that's why Auburn's got away a couple times, with obvious violations and everybody knowing it, but yet they've gotten no punishment. But if you lie to them, refuse to cooperate, or you challenge them individually, like Jeremey did, like Bo Davis did, you get hammered. You can go back and look at their history if that's what they do. But the SEC has also played a role in this. And two of the coaches that have had the hardest time getting back in or getting hammered has been related to Alabama. Is it possible, X, that it's an Alabama thing on top of these coaches' violations?
Yeah, I mean, it possibly could be. I mean, when you look at the circumstances and the way that the old situations have been handled from the standpoint of Bo Davis and now Jeremy Pruitt and what the way they've been hammered, but you'll have people say it's one of this a conspiracy theory. I'm just trying to figure out how to get back, blah, 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 all that. But I do think to a certain level that the Alabama connection is why you're seeing the hammer being dropped away.
Yeah, you can't help but wonder if that's the case. Because Curtis Moore, the second pointing out, they let Hugh Freeze back at Auburn, despite what he had going on. And he had one player that had more payout than all of the Tennessee players. They had all of the Tennessee players combined was less than what the guys were doing in terms of the payout amount. X, real quick, SEC Media Days, kind of some things that we may hear from day one. You look at plenty of the future schedule talk. That's going to be part of the conversation. Texas, Oklahoma being a part of the SEC, even though they're not here already, they are a big part of the talk. Will Brian Kelly sow his wild oats and be full of himself today? Will he come across as I'm going to step up and take the reins of the SEC West, or will he play it cool and walk in a humble spirit, where you hear some of them wild oats and him standing on what he's talking about?
I came in saying the reason I came to LSU was to beat Alabama, and he accomplished it year one. So I think you see the humble brag, as they like to call it. So I think it'll be a little bit of humility with a little bit of boastfulness of, hey, this is what I was able to do year one. So I feel like I have the ability and the players to do it again type conversation.
Yeah, I think he'll highlight him having the number one quarterback. best quarterback, and what that means for the what that means for LSU. And as you said, it may be a humble brag, but I'm not going to be surprised with Kelly being having spent a lot of his time up in the North, coming down, beating Alabama year one, representing the West. I think he may just come right out and say it as the LSU is back and ready to regain dominance in the West. I won't be shocked at all if he does that. What would Jimbo Fisher? Will Jimbo Fisher get hammered and called on the carpet for his? He was challenged to change and give up control. Will people see his move to bring in Petrino as a farce, and will they call him out on it today?
I think there will be a lot of questions around that dynamic in College Station, and I think you'll get a little bit more about what he said last year concerning Alabama and Nick Saban and how that affected recruiting and things of that nature. So I think those are going to be big topics for him this year.
Does he talk any about that 5-7 record where he was expected to challenge for the SEC? And will he or they make bold predictions of what they're going to be able to accomplish in terms of this season? Or will A&M repeat more of the same 6, 7, 8 wins? And if they do, are we looking at Jimbo Fisher's last SEC meeting as the head coach at A&M?
If there's not a huge improvement for Jimbo this year, I think you have to look out for it in that concept. They fired Kevin Sumlin for better performances than what Jimbo has been giving you, and you paid to be it average is good, but a lot of times worse than Kevin Sumlin.
Yeah, Kevin Sumlin and Mark Richt kind of remind me of each other. Both coaches were winning at the level their program had been winning at before. But the expectation was that they would eventually get over the hump. Nick Saban kept what's the name from getting there? Rick from getting there a couple times, and kept A&M from getting there. And eventually it led to both of their firings. They both went out and got guys that they thought could take them to the mountaintop. One guy's got there twice and perched to take it 3 times. The other guy has gotten guaranteed money, everything he needs, facilities, recruiting, and everything. Sooner or later, they're going to figure out that Jimbo Fisher was a one-hit wonder because he had a quarterback that bailed him out at Florida State. And I don't think he's an elite coach. And that's just my opinion because he refuses to change. We'll find out what he has to say along with Drinkwitz, Kelly, and Sankey as SEC Media Days kicks off. That's Xavier Houston. I'm Martin Houston. That's Noah Haynes. And we close out the show once again wishing Deuce Houston, Xavier Jr., very happy 4th birthday. Remember to trust in the Lord always. Lean not in your own ways, lean not in your own paths, but trust in the Lord always. Lean not in your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Roll Tide out to everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.